when this bronchitis went around, and she was in some kind of a coughing fit, and sort of the retina was torn off the eye, so she had to have the cryogenically frozen or something the side of her face, and then they went in there and the vitreous humor was raised, so they had to they put some air in there, a gas, and they smooth out the retina. And then today she had to get some more gas put in there and smooth out the retina again. That doesn't sound like a pretty procedure.
I got some gas, but that's a whole different story.
Well, that's true. And I have, I've had shots in the eye, as you know, myself. Has been a big deal that I've had.
That is not good. That is not good. Well,
yeah.
This is kind of a little bit of a medical segment here on the show.
It's been a little difficult, I can tell you that.
I got my dog Franco has.
Oh, wait a minute, Franco the dog.
Franco has ticks.
Wait, you have a dog, Frank? Doesn't Fred Dreyer's next door neighbor, isn't that dog Frank as well?
I don't know. Does Fred have a dog next door named Frank?
I believe so.
Well, mine is Franco, no relation, of course.
I think it's Franco.
But Franco has ticks.
Ticks?
Yeah, I was notified today that what I thought appeared to be a fatty wart was actually a tick embedded.
So you got to do you do that match thing and kind of, untick it?
Well, no, that's what actually Magic Match Matt, who will be with you, I guess, later to this evening from Ruth's Chris. He recommended that I actually heat up a pin. And the poke.
I wouldn't listen to anything Magic Matt says as far as these things go. He had blood poisoning over the week, and he has some problems as well too that we have to take care of. He might be delirious for all you know.
Yeah, well, I don't know which veterinary school Matt might have gone to, but we'll check that out.
Yeah, something extreme interesting there. We got lots of things to talk about on the show today. Hulk Hogan is in the news. This is really an exciting story for me because I'm glad this happened for the Hulkster, for Hulk Hogan.
Well, we kind of have a relationship with the Hulk Hogan that goes back several years here.
We used to have our Wrestle Talk show. Remember with the late, great, the wonderful Dynamite D? And I used to hang out with Hulk Hogan and get liners. And Hulk would, when he'd go to the cable show, and there'd be the WWF booth back in the day.
You've had your picture taken with him?
Yeah, and I would do some recording, and he'd go, stand back a little farther. He goes, please move the microphone back. And then he'd go, Hulkamaniacs! And he'd be going crazy, What you gonna do? And the pythons run around you. And he'd go crazy.
He'd become a different person.
Yeah. Well, and that's what he said in this trial that he was in, too, that there's Terry Bollea, his real name, and then there's the persona of Hulk Hogan. I don't know if that helped him in this case, but we'll definitely have the stories on that, too.
I think he's going to get a lot of money.
I think he did get a lot of money. I don't want to tip the story here, but we will have that for you today, too. We got a lot to talk about here on the big broadcast.
You just tipped something.
Yeah, we tipped it here. Michael Horn, Paul Stern, the PM Show, Monday edition on CRN.
Control, do you like mortgages?
Negative, over.
Do you like rockets?
Affirmative, over.
Do you like rocket mortgages?
I'm listening, over.
Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is the first on-demand mortgage machine that turns the entire mortgage process into a fast, powerful, completely online experience.
Copy that, QL1. I'm going to go ahead and push this button in. 3, 2, 1.
Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button, get mortgage.
Rocket.
Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Welcome back here to the PM Show Monday edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn along with Paul Stern. Have a good weekend, Paul Stern?
Did have a pretty good weekend. Didn't do too much, though. I have been having some back pain. Not to again dwell on the ailments of the sort, but I've had a back pain that I just don't seem to be able to get rid of.
Really? Well, Dr. Shep's, one of the sponsors of our show, has that laser therapy. Where they go in there. That's what you should do. Is it lower back pain?
It is lower back pain.
Lower left or lower right back?
It would be lower right.
And it's right by the hip joint there?
It is right by
sciatica, that's what I've got. In fact, I went there for some treatment on Saturday. She said, sciatica. And she took that laser thing on there, and it's better already. You got to go. You go there.
Dr. Sheps is...
He's by your area down there in Santa Monica. He's right on Wilshire Boulevard. Right there by Barrington, I think. Is that second light as soon as you get there and you go west on Wilshire? He's right there in that building. He's a great guy, and he works with all the Olympic athletes, regular athletes. I learned about him through our very own Fred Dreyer.
Oh.
And in the wall, when you go into his office, there's pictures of Olympic stars and sports stars and everything thanking him. There's even a huge poster that I'm trying to get of Fred Dreyer in the character of Hunter. And he's got the gun there and everything, and it probably scares everybody because sometimes the picture's up, sometimes they take it down. I'm sure when women come in, they say, "Who the heck is that? Get that off the wall." So that's all I can say.
Boy, Fred Dreyer had almost had an altercation leaving the studio.
What happened?
I don't know what got into Fred, but he decided to comment on some young. There was a young punk outside raising Cain in the parking lot.
Uh-oh.
And Fred brought it to his attention that his trousers were falling down.
And what happened?
Well, the kid pulled him up. He knew it was good for him.
Really?
Yeah. It was very interesting. Fred.
So Fred got into the altercation by telling a man that his trousers were falling off?
Yeah, there was some young hoodlum type punk.
Hoodlum.
Yeah, in the
Or
parking.
a hoodlum, as they say.
Yeah. And Fred Dreyer just, usually when I see things like that, I just usually turn the other way and mind my own business.
Right.
But Fred took it upon himself to draw it to everybody's attention that the kid's pants were practically falling off and that he should pull them up.
And what did the kid say?
The kid didn't want any trouble or any problems, so
he pulled his pants up?
He pulled them back up.
That's good. You don't want the pants falling off.
They call it sagging.
Is that what it's called?
I believe
I've
that's
had that problem after I get into my 50s. And it is part of I think it's a byproduct of the Dunlap's disease, because my stomach Dunlaps over my belt.
I know about
and
that.
And you've had that Dunlaps. Well, you've kind of come and go with your Dunlaps. You're in pretty good shape when you get out there with that weed blower and work around the yard. But my Dunlaps, I laugh at some people because, once you get into your later years, and Tomas is shaking his head, he knows what I'm talking about, sometimes the old waistline expands and you get into, you were in the 32s or 34s or 36 and you're in 38 and 40s, and then God forbid you get into the 42s. I've heard that's kind of the breaking point line. You don't want to get much beyond that. But, sometimes 44s are awfully comfortable. And I just have to say that, as the waistline expands, certain people refuse to give in to the expansive waistline so they can just go tell everybody, I'm a 38. And then they cinch their belts up so tight, and you can always tell those guys because they walk kind of like they turn like sort of a robot, and when they talk, they go, "Yeah, you doing? It's good to see you." Like they can't breathe because they're crushing all their inner muscles. So I would tell you, go into maybe a Portly store or go to even the big box stores when they have sizes that are, sometimes they're called XXL. Those seem to work really well sometimes. And then they also there's ones that have kind of the giving waistline where you can put those on. And sometimes they're bad. If they're not made well, sometimes you can look on the side of the pants and see, you can put your finger into the side, and you can actually see the skin or underwear. So you got to make sure you still get the right size in those. I bought one of those ones and I was quite flabbergasted. I took them back immediately. I never saw any kind of elastic expand so much as what I saw there. But anyway, you can pick those up. And just for those of you, John Cardillo does a show here at our CRN Radio Network, and he's got the millennials and everybody in there. We like to hit you seniors out there and get you comfortable. That's all I got to say. If you can't bend, you don't need to depend. That's what I always say. Just get a little larger size in the shoe. Johnny Cochran told me that. All right, Hulk Hogan's in the news, and the Florida jury has ruled, and the ex-pro wrestler, the Hulkster, Hulkamaniac Hulk Hogan, received $115 million in a lawsuit filed against Gawker Media. $15 million more than the $100 million that Hulk Hogan had asked for.
That's more than what Aaron Andrews got.
Yeah, and so I'm not going to be as hard on Aaron Andrews, but here's the difference between this whole thing. We'll get to the difference in a second. Here's what happened. The Huffington Post made this report. Hulk Hogan, whose real name is Terry Bollea, sued Gawker. Now, it's a media firm. It's got the web page and all that stuff. Sued Gawker in 2012 after this online media outlet, Gawker, posted an excerpt of a video showing Terry Bollea / Hulk Hogan having sex with the wife of his then best friend, radio personality Bubba the Love Sponge Clem. I guess that's his last name. Is it Clem his first name, or is it just Bubba the Love Sponge Clem? I guess that's his first name. So Hogan and his attorneys contend that the posting of the video constituted an invasion of privacy. Gawker argued that the clip was newsworthy and protected by the First Amendment. Now, I would just listen to this now, and common sense says, newsworthy? Some guy having sex with a woman is newsworthy? Are you kidding me? In their own private moment, where this Bubba the Love Sponge videotaped it and then turned it into Gawker Media? No, Gawker to me is at fault, and that's exactly what the jury did right away. The Gawker founder Nick Denton and A.J. Dolero, the site's former editor-in-chief who posted the video, boy is he a terrible employee, they were also named as defendants in the suit. And in closing arguments on last Thursday, Kenneth Turkle, the attorney for Terry Bollea / Hulk Hogan, told the jury that Gawker's editors didn't have the common decency, that's a quote, didn't have the common decency to call his client, Hulk Hogan, before posting the piece, and quoting, "The media has the power to do great good and the power to do great harm. What's significant in the world of Gawker is the tape of my client in a private bedroom at the lowest point in his life, in a private act." And that is indeed what happened, and Hulk Hogan has been awarded the money. And even before the verdict was handed down, Gawker had issued a statement saying it was disappointed the jury was unable to see key evidence and hear testimony from the most important witnesses. They were referring to Bubba the Love Sponge Clem, who originally shot the tape. Now, last week, the judge had granted Clem's wish not to testify because Bubba the Love Sponge Clem, I almost call him Bubba the Love Sponge Phlegm. I'm sorry, if I made that was when he had a cold. Bubba the Love Sponge Clem didn't want to testify because he thought he might incriminate himself. Gee, you think? Shortly after this verdict was announced, the guys from Gawker, Nick Denton, issued his own statement that clearly indicated this matter isn't over. He said, quoting now, "Given key evidence and the most important witnesses were both improperly withheld from this jury, we all know the appeals court will need to resolve this case. I want to thank our lawyers for their outstanding work, and I'm confident that we would have prevailed at a trial if we'd been allowed to present the full case to the jury. That's why we feel very positive about the appeal that we have already begun preparing." You guys are going out of business, Gawker. You know, here's where websites and media are out of control. When there's personal video and you don't have rights to show it, you should not show it. It's not protected under the First Amendment. You've stolen some guy's private moment, and you're sitting there making money from somebody else's act. And that, to me, smacks of a smart jury came up and gave the money to Hulk Hogan. Congratulations. Kudos to Hulk Hogan. I hope he wins the appeal again, too. Now, in the case of Erin Andrews, you know, she should have won all the money she could off the guy that did the actual video. She was now suing more to get more money from Marriott, and that's where I had a problem, because it was Marriott just had a schlub employee that was somehow coaxed into giving out that room information. We'll have your comments, Paul Stern, and talk more after this. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's Ristorante in Fullerton, California for authentic family-style Italian dinners. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's and celebrate your party or event in one of our festive banquet rooms. Angelo's and Vinci's, Fullerton, California, 550 North Harbor Boulevard. Named the Orange County Hot List Top 5 Italian restaurant for 7 years in a row. And a Top 10 pizza restaurant by Gale, featuring traditional and award-winning pizzas. Offering Sunday champagne brunch from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., just $16.95. Choose from over 20 items, plus create your own personal omelet. Delicious lunches, including our express lunch buffet, $8.95 with over 15 items, and dinner 7 days a week. Getting married? Angelo's and Vinci's won this year's Wedding Wire Couples Choice Award. You can talk to our experienced staff of wedding coordinators. We treat you as guests at your own wedding reception. It's all at Angelo's and Vinci's Ristorante at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022. 714-879-4022.
Hi, friends. This is Larry Manetti. Go to LarryManetti.com to get my book, Aloha Magnum. You'll read all about the wonderful guest stars like Carol Burnett, Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, and many, many more. Also, there is an episode guide and my favorite recipes that I really cook at home. I will include a free signed photo with every book. Get Aloha Magnum at LarryManetti.com. Order now. Aloha.
Are you nearing eligibility for Medicare benefits? Then you know now is an important time in your life. Medicare benefits can be a complicated puzzle. You don't want to overpay for your Medicare coverage or get the wrong plan. Let Health Markets Insurance Agency help you. With one free phone call, a licensed insurance agent will help you select a Medicare plan that's right for you and your budget. If you're becoming eligible for Medicare, call today and learn how to get the most out of your benefits.
800-793-1960. 800-793-1960.
Health Markets Insurance Agency is the DBA or assumed name of InSphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., which is an authorized insurance agency in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Not all agents are licensed to sell all products. Service and product availability varies by state.
Call 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960.
Are you looking to increase the number of calls you receive at your business? Well, CRM Talk is introducing a new way for customers to reach you without having to remember your phone number or web address. Customers simply dial pound 250 from their mobile phones to say your business name. That's it. They'll be directed immediately to your phone line and receive a text message with a link to your website and phone number. It's that easy. It works so well that we're using it in this commercial. To sign up, dial pound 250 and say, "Help my business." That's pound 250, "Help my business."
Welcome back here to the PM Show Monday edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn along with Paul Stern. You know, Mechanic Chuck was by my house here last night, and we were talking about a picture of those automobiles in Cuba. Have you seen that, Paul?
I have, absolutely.
Classic vehicles in Cuba. I mean, there's like 53 Chevrolets, there's 55 DeSotos.
Yeah, they've been talking about it also on the Doug Steffen program. Apparently, Rich McFadden has been eyeing some of those cars.
Well, here's the thing. Mechanic Chuck looks at things very realistically, and he said, hey, he's watched some of the TV shows about these guys that are trying to, buy cars and stuff there. Here's the deal. Sure. The taxi cab drivers, people own those cars, they can't get parts. First, they can't get cars. So they're stuck with these old 50s and 60s vehicles. Well, I guess a 60 would be brand new for them, but it's a 50s vehicle. So they have to manufacture their own parts with like sledgehammers and things, sawhorses, hammers, and they pound in a new drive shaft or something because they can't get the parts. So if you bought one of these junkers, you're buying like Ricky Ricardo's jalopy. You saw this. You've seen Ricky Ricardo drive around with Fred. Actually, Fred had that old jalopy.
It was the one that Fred came back with, to be perfectly honest.
Well, he bought it from Ricky Ricardo. That's what you don't know about in the series, from Cuba. And so, I wonder what kind of, maybe Castro there, since he's got Obama visiting, has maybe brought out his nice vehicle, maybe a 52 Kaiser, and they're driving around town in that thing. Obama probably will be dumb enough to buy one of those cars that's been all beat up. So you got to look at the pictures of it's jammed with traffic, and they got those old gas guzzlers, and there you have it. So,
well, I don't know if you heard, but I think was it Starwood Resorts has already kind of inked
it.
They've already inked a deal, I believe, to take over a couple of properties, 2 or 3 properties there in Cuba.
And then thus the real brains in the family, my sister-in-law Irene, she is here as well, and she's eyeing that Starwood Resort thing, and I think she's thinking one word and one word only: casino. Because she knows how to, really work those. I don't want to say what game she plays, but she has won on the game of chance. Keno many times, and I'm telling you, while the rest of us pull the slot machine and don't win anything on the one-armed bandit, she, with the game that I don't want to say, Keno, she has been very good with winning some good stuff. And Mechanic Chuck plays it, but then he gets bored and he goes out and he's looking for some vehicle to work on. Yeah. So anyway, it's good to get caught up with them, and they have taken over an area in California called Tehachapi. And it used to be a fine little getaway community, and now there's like farmland in there and tractor work and all that stuff, and Mechanic Chuck is ripping apart stuff over there. It's quite fun and interesting.
Apparently,
quilting classes going there, all that stuff.
Yeah, apparently there was a press conference that took place with, I believe, Raul Castro.
Is that the guy? And you must say it the right way, and you had great pronunciation on that. It's Raul Castro. That's one of the great Cuban restaurants I like to go to, Raul's. Yeah. And so Raul, did he didn't meet Barack Obama at the airport, kind of gave him the cold shoulder. Did he actually finally say thank you for coming?
I don't know the particulars, but I do believe the conference was cut short after there were persistent questions regarding dissidents.
Well, see, that's the thing. See, it's Obama always goes a little early in everything because he knows he's only got so many months left. So he doesn't care that there's dissidents locked up in jails. He wants to go over there and open the gates to Cuba and bring back cigars for everybody. And we fall for it. And in this case, we're not. And apparently, did the Cuban Pete Obama get up there and ask for the dissidents to be released?
Well, I believe Raul Castro, I'm not quoting him precisely, but he said something to the effect of, show me these dissidents, and you could have them. And nobody was able to show anybody the dissidents.
Really? Well, they probably got them locked in some, underground torture chamber.
That's usually what they do.
And don't we have our own jails over there? What is the thing there in the
Gitmo.
Is that in Cuba?
I believe it is.
How do we have that in Cuba when we can't go there to get cigars? That's what I want to know. And maybe they're locked up. Maybe the dissidents Obama's confused, and that's why he wants to release everybody at Gitmo. Maybe he thinks they're the dissidents from Cuba. I don't know. But definitely it has to be straightened out. And hopefully we get someone in the office of the president that can do it. Because this guy sure isn't. But apparently he's smoking a big cigar. Good thing there's not a funeral for Nancy Reagan that he's got to go to, because he'd have to give up his cigar to just avoid going to it. Anyway, back to Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
The jury has ruled in favor of Hulk Hogan. They said yes to punitive damages, so that's why he was rewarded an extra $15 million.
See, I have a problem.
Gawker Media going down. What's your problem?
I have a problem with anybody that would allow their best friend, I don't care who you're having,
to have sexual relations with your wife, right?
Yeah,
that's Bubba the Love Sponge. First off, the whole thing smacks of a setup for Hulk Hogan. He's down on his luck and everything. And what does Bubba the Love Sponge say? Hey, we're separated. Go ahead and have sex with her. And then he videotapes it.
Who would?
This whole thing is creepy. It's creepy. But for Gawker Media to get it and then say it's newsworthy and put it out there, that's the creepiest of all.
It's creepy enough actually putting a camera in front of your bed and you're just alone. But to ask a friend of yours...
I don't like to actually see pictures of myself, let alone would I ever allow a live video to photograph me in the all together, if you know what I mean. I can't stand looking at the mirror. I put like a sheet over it when I get ready and just cut a little hole for my face so I can shave.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1,800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808. You experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain from a sports injury? If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com, 310-873-4422.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. Really? They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call or go online to get the free help you need during this turbulent time. Call now, 800-471-5173, 800-471-5173.
I just sneaked into my kids' rooms and took temperatures while they're sleeping, thanks to my Exergen thermometer. All I did was swipe their foreheads for a few seconds. It didn't even wake them up. My sister, the nurse, told us about the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer, and it's the best. Real value for the money and truly a lifesaver. Now I don't have to deal with ears or rears, if you know what I mean.
I'm Dr. Frank Pompey, founder of Exergen. Thousands of hospitals and clinics rely on temporal scanners. I'm confident you will too.
The Exergen temporal scanner. Pick one up at Costco and other fine retailers, or visit us at Exergen.com.
Hello, CRN listeners. This is Michael Horn, inviting you to join me and my co-host, sommelier Nicole Nielsen from Roost Chris Steakhouse, as we present What's Cooking on Wine. Find out about the latest trends in wine, great food, spirits, and a whole lot more. It's What's Cooking on Wine, done live at 6 o'clock Monday nights at Roost Chris Steakhouse in Pasadena, California, and then the replays throughout the weekend right here on CRN. So if you love wine and you love great food, it's What's Cooking on Wine right here on CRN. Welcome back. I'm the Funkmaster. CRN Digital Talk Radio. Funky. Come on, crank that Funkmaster music up. Get funky. Let's get some funky. Little Tomas and the Funkettes there doing some good music there, the Funkmeister. All right, so back here on the PM show, Monday edition, I'm Michael Horn along with Paul Stern. The jury ruled in favor of Hulk Hogan, and they awarded an extra $15 million in punitive damages. And this was a ruling against Gawker Media. And of course, the initial ruling was just for compensatory damages that the media cited inflicted when they published a sex tape without even giving Hulk Hogan a heads up that they were going to do it. And the jury heard the plaintiff and the defendant's lawyers go head-to-head over whether or not Gawker should have to pay punitive damages too. And they are punishing defendants like Nick Denton, that's his website, the scandalized site, and to defer future lawbreakers from making a habit of the bad behavior. Apparently, Hulk Hogan's legal team pitched during closing arguments that the jury can make a statement with their decision. And Gawker noted the company is only worth $83 million. So if they got to pay $115, let's do some math there. If the company's only worth $83 and Hulk Hogan was awarded $115, hopefully he can collect. But this is really something.
Wasn't there like a TV show on the air where they tried to kind of imply that Hulk Hogan was some kind of a great dad, like he had great parenting skills?
Well, he had that on VH1, and he did seem to. I watched that show. He seemed to have good characteristics for a father. I mean, again, how embarrassing would that be for your kids to see something that's a personal act? I mean, come on.
Not exactly
Sorry.
Leave It to Beaver, that's for sure.
I get nervous with this Periscope now. People sometimes start the Periscope without you even knowing it. So you can act like an idiot, and the next thing you know, it's out there on the media, and they go, hey, take a look at Mike Horn. He looks like an idiot.
Well, did you see that guy that was like caught? I don't know if it was Periscope, but the guy at the Trump campaign manager that went on down like to the floor of a convention to talk to some guy that was raising Cain, that the next thing you know, that they're accusing him of like pulling the guy to the floor like a battery case.
You know, back in the day, and by the way, what happened to that woman that had those red pencil marks on her arm during that Trump...
Breitbart news.
Yeah, you don't hear anything about it. She quit Breitbart, and so did Ben Shapiro. He quit in disgust, and now you don't even hear anything about either of those people. I guess Megyn Kelly is through with them. She used them for at least one show, and now that's it. They quit their jobs, and they got nothing.
What are we going to do when this presidential campaign is over? I mean, literally, we come
That's
out
good news, huh?
We come out of the weekend with always a good Trump story. There's always
something good.
I mean, he went to, what was it, over the weekend, he was in Arizona, appearing with like
and those hoodlums blockaded the streets. Did you see that? That just doesn't read well with me. Now, I don't know how you think, and I'm not for taking any lies, but sometimes... Wouldn't you just like to have plastic figures of people over there so you could just make a statement and just crunch over them with one of those big trucks with those tires. I mean, come on. If you're going to get to the side of the road, if you want to go ahead and be a dissenter, hold up the signs and everything, I'll wave at you. I'll read them, whatever. If you think you can write something good that gets me to change my mind, have at it. I'm all for that. But don't plug up the highway.
I'm not exactly what you would refer to as a Donald Trump supporter, but there was some guy that showed up at one of his rallies, I think it was the one in Arizona, where he actually had on a hood. He had on a hood.
Oh, come on.
I hate to say, like a cake from like
Paul Stern, I always really question
your
comments because I have not seen this on the media.
And then he stomped
I will tell
around
our audience that.
doing the Heil Hitler salute.
There you go.
And
was he one of those dissidents? Come on, did they go that far?
No, I think he was one of the Bernie Sanders people.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is out of control right now. I'm telling you, somehow, and here's what they came up with today. It's not really Trump or anybody else's concern to actually supply the security. They do. But the police have to start stepping in to do it. And that's a tough job for the police. But they're going to have to get involved because they're going to have to be the ones to make the arrests. And I think if you blockade things and it's federal stuff, you got some years of time that you could serve. So maybe for the $20 they're offering you on Craigslist to be a dissenter, you might want to think twice about it.
I haven't been to a rock concert in ages, but they used to hire these big burly people.
Yeah, that's what you want.
They would put on like these yellow jackets that would say security emboldened across the back, and nobody ever messed with those people.
When I was a young, impressionable mind in college, and I used to hang out at the back room at the Palomino Club waiting to do interviews with some of the great country legends, there was a guy named Tiny who was at the front door of the Palomino Club. Tommy and Billy Thomas owned that club and ran it so well. And there's, for a young college guy, there were some pretty good-looking women in there, if you know what I mean, serving and being served, etc. And so Tiny was there at the front door. And I'll just tell you, that was a misname there because Tiny was no such thing as Tiny. Tiny was big. Tiny looks like the kind of guy Clint Eastwood could use in one of those movies he shot at the Palomino Club. And I always remember, and I used to get my buddy Corky Mayberry to give me my first job in radio to laugh because at one night, things got out of control and Tiny got hit in the shoulder with an arrow. So I don't know if there was some kind of uprising there at the Palomino Club, but apparently Tiny took one for the team in there. He was okay, but I always thought, arrows? I'm just staying in the back room back there with Doug Kershaw telling me that he wears pantyhose under his pants when he sings Diggy Diggy Low. And he did do that as well. All right, what else do we have in the news today? We're getting a lot of personal stories here. Let's move along a little bit.
We're really getting off the script.
10th anniversary of Twitter. Are you celebrating?
Twitter.
I've been known to tweet.
I have not tweeted ever.
You need to tweet. You would get into this, and it would probably be some interesting.
Larry Elder. No, I hear Larry
Elder's like number 7 in Los Angeles.
He talks about it a lot, but then he says he gets into Twitter wars, which...
Well, that you get more points when you do that. You get more back and forth.
I did not realize that.
10 years of existence of Twitter today is the anniversary. There's always criticism, concerns about its future. It's that you send the short messages, so many characters or whatever, and it's become part of the country, the globe actually. It's cultural fabric, and you get news on there, and the people learn about things. It was a tweet that somebody said. It's also become a critical tool for some social movements and a key source of breaking news for those who like to use it, usually millennials. They don't know how to turn on a television set, so they get everything right from their phone. And Twitter is celebrating at its offices around the world today. Congratulations to them, 10 years. This is a milestone. And as March 21st begins around the world, is today the 21st, by the way?
Yes, it is.
It's the first day of spring, for gosh sakes. It's the equinox, equal day and equal night. I love this day. Everything is getting longer as far as sunlight goes in the northern hemisphere. Now, in the southern hemisphere, get ready for winter. Anyway, March 21st begins around the world. Each of the global offices at Twitter is kicking off the day, showing appreciation and gratitude. It started in Sydney, followed up to their headquarters in San Francisco. The first tweet came from the co-founder and former and current CEO, Jack Dorsey. It was originally called Twitter, Twitter, and then they put the ER in there. The early days of the Web 2.0 movement were dark times, and people believed that simply dropping vowels from a name would make it hip. Now it looks like some kind of a crazy thing from the Planet of the Apes. Twitter. T-W-I-T-R. Twitter. I misspelled that.
Control, this is QL1. Side hatch is secure.
QL1, this is Control. We copy, showing normal cabin pressure. Over.
Control, this is QL1. Do you like mortgages?
That's a negative, QL1. Over.
Control, do you like rockets?
That's affirmative, QL1. Over.
Do you like rocket mortgages?
I'm listening. Over.
Of course you are, Control. Everyone likes rockets. Control, Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is the first on-demand mortgage machine that turns the entire mortgage process into a fast, powerful, completely online experience.
Copy that, QL1. I'm gonna go ahead and push this button in 3, 2, 1.
Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button, get mortgage.
Rocket.
Visit for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Grab your mojito. Welcome back here to the PM Show Monday edition. Michael Horn and Paul Stern on CRN Digital Talk Radio. So Twitter's 10 years old. Twitter has, in those 10 years, has seen its revenue grow from $28.3 million in 2010 to $2.22 billion last year of 2015. Twitter, in the last 10 years, by the way, don't let those numbers fool you, they've lost a total of $2.09 billion as of December of last year and counting, so they're still losing money. The company's had 4 CEOs, started with Jack Dorsey, then Evan Williams, Dick Costello, and then Jack Dorsey is again now in charge. They brought him back. They've got it. They had almost 4,000 full-time employees by the end of last year, and they hired 3,700 in the previous 5 years. So in the first 5 years, it was a lean, mean fighting machine. Only 200 members in the flock, and they still couldn't make money. The Oscar photo of Ellen DeGeneres, still the most retweeted and liked tweet. The co-founder, Noah Glass, picked the name Twitter after scouring the TW section of the dictionary. And Katy Perry is the most followed person on Twitter. 84.77 million followers. And in November of 2008, Facebook reportedly tried to buy Twitter for $500 million. Back when that was a lot of money. Wow. Today, Twitter is worth $11.7 billion. How do you like that? Wow. Okay, and some you Star Wars fans, a lot of Star Wars fans out there, tons. Daisy Ridley may go from scavenger to raider in the Tomb Raider reboot. There's going to be Rey might be stepping up from a scavenger to a raider after Daisy Ridley was flung from relative obscurity to a headlining role in the Star Wars, the biggest saga that's now in the running to revive that franchise. And there's a possibility of more greatness because according to Deadline, Ridley is being considered for the role of Lara Croft. Angelina Jolie was in that one. Remember, Lara Croft and Tomb Raider. They're going to make another version, a reboot. Don't get too excited and worry thinking about that because at this stage it's still very, very early days. It's going to be done by Warner Brothers and MGM have confirmed nothing of this story, but we just thought we'd throw it out to get you all worried. You know who Stan Hansen is?
Yes, Stan the Lariat Hansen, of course.
He's known as the Lariat. He was from Borger, Texas, the nastiest resident there. He is going to take his place in the Sports Entertainment Hall on the eve of WrestleMania 32 when he's inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame's class of 2016. Now, this news was first reported by Yahoo Japan's Sports, and they got exclusive comments from the Lariat. Hansen apparently his journey to the ring began in an unusual place. He was on the gridiron at West Texas State University, a factory for future wrestlers. When his football days came to an end, he stepped into the squared circle and quickly earned a reputation as one of the most vicious competitors in the sport. Yes. And he's got a style of wrestling that wasn't technically proficient or beautiful by any stretch of the imagination. It was just dirty, gritty, and ferocious, and it worked. He's always got the scowl on his face, the bull rope in his hand. The bad man from Borger has made his way into the WWE in 1976. He, at that time, set his sights on the then champion Bruno Sammartino. And I'm telling you, this Texan stunned fans when he broke the living legend's neck with a devastating clothesline that was known as the Lariat. And you talked about that. You know about this.
The Lariat, yes. It's a great finishing move.
Yes.
The Lariat, yes. It almost decapitates the individual.
Then Stan Hansen went across the Pacific Ocean to Japan, where he became a legend. He was one of the most feared foreigners in Japanese wrestling history. Stan Hansen, the Lariat. He earned victories over the country's first revered grapplers, Giant Baba and the WWE Hall of Famer Antonio Inoki, and he's got tag teams. He was in there with Bruiser Brody, so it's going to be a great thing as he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. Much deserved.
Very good thing.
Yeah, and he won the award, the AWA World Championship, by defeating Rick Martel in 1985 too, and never lost the title. And in 1990, he ended Lex Luger's record, the record-setting reign as United States champion. And by 1991, he exclusively competed in Japan for the next 10 years, retiring in 2001 as a decorated champion and a legend there in the land of the rising sun. It's great. Now, when his friend takes pictures of him having sex with the guy's wife, I'm sure there'll be another Gawker suit.
I feel the need to almost apologize, for whatever it's worth. I do not know if I know exactly where the WWE Hall of Fame is actually located.
That's a good question.
I know
Tomas will need your help on that. Thank
I know
you.
the baseball Hall of Fame is Cooperstown. I think the football
Rock and roll is Cleveland.
And Canton, Ohio.
I would think this is in New York. I would think the WWE Hall of Fame. We'll find out. Kato Kalin. Remember Kato Kalin from that OJ series on TV now, in the OJ trial?
Of course, yes. Absolutely.
He didn't have a proper suit when he testified in the OJ Simpson trial. And the guy who loaned him one, he loaned him a suit, is now about to cash in. Turns out that Kato borrowed that olive green Gianni Versace suit from a friend when he testified in 1994. And it's been unworn since, hanging in a garment bag. The owner of the size 40 threads is asking for $5,000 on eBay, and he even includes a letter of authenticity. The gloves, by the way, are sold separately. I don't know if the gloves are there or not.
What is Scott St. James going to bring us some suit jackets on?
Yeah, and apparently Bob Henry, our Sergeant at Arms, got all bunched up about it. He said, I don't know about Scott St. James bringing you jackets. Bring them on, Scott. We'll try them on. You know?
What do you know? What do you mean bunched up? What do you mean, Bob Henry?
Yeah, Bob got a little bunched up about it. I was with him at the family winemaker's taste, and he said, I don't know about that Scott St. James. Yeah, I know he's a good broadcaster and everything. Usually Bob doesn't say anything terrible, but he was, I think, miffed maybe that he didn't. Maybe we'll have to ask him to bring a jacket for Bob Henry.
Yeah, Bob got left out.
Bob's involved in everything we do.
The fitting.
He is our band leader here on the show. By the way, problems at the Playboy Mansion all the time. Kendra Wilkinson is slamming Holly Madison, and I'll tell you about this when we come back.
I don't want to hear that.
The former Girls Next Door, Holly, called out her co-star Kendra. And I'll tell you what it is all about. Don't go away. We're here on CRN, the PM Show, Monday edition. Michael Horn, Paul Stern, right here. Don't forget to follow us. Send us information on an email, info@crntalk.com.
Experience a luxury boutique hotel escape in the heart of Laguna Beach, California. With the finest art gallery, shopping, dining, and nightlife just steps from your door. The heart of Laguna Beach, the edge of the sea. It's the Inn at Laguna Beach. Enjoy our comfortable rooms, blending the style of a timeless beach bungalow with the modern comforts of today. 70 newly appointed guest rooms and suites await you at the Inn at Laguna Beach. Then, relax at the rooftop bar, where you'll indulge in breathtaking views of the ocean. For dining, you'll find libations and local cuisine on the California coastline, including dining at the legendary Las Brisas, a Southern California landmark. The Inn at Laguna Beach, footsteps from room to village to sea, located in the heart of Laguna Beach. The Inn is within walking distance of all that Laguna Beach has to offer. No car required. The Inn at Laguna Beach, 211 North Coast Highway in Laguna Beach, California. Call 800-544-4479 or visit inn@lagunabeach.com.
This is Larry Elder with the tip to improve your life. Start breathing cleaner air. Pollutants in the air you breathe in your home can cause illness, allergy attacks, breathing problems, and more. Plus, if you have a child, aging adult, or an asthma sufferer in your home, you need the Silent Air Cleaner. We spend over 7 hours a day in our bedrooms, so why not breathe really pure air? Get the Silent Night Air Cleaner today. Get rid of pollen, dust mites, pet dander, mold, spores, and more. Make the air in your home ultra pure with the Silent Night Air Cleaner's new Zeppa filtration system. It is clean air and it's quiet. The Silent Night Air Cleaner. Call now and get your unit today. Call 855-855-4455. That's 855-855-4455. Call right now, 855-855-4455. Take care of the people you love. Take care of yourself. Get the Silent Night Air Cleaner, 855-855-4455.
When you really want Italian food, you've got to go to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. My friends, it's time to take a stand. If good times, sumptuous steaks, the freshest fish, and outstanding family recipe Italian specialties, along with jazz every night, and service that's friendly but not fawning, mean anything to you, then it's time to cast your vote for Columbo's. And on the same ticket, let's not forget Columbo's world-famous meatballs, all at a price that won't add to the family deficit. Yes, a vote for Columbo's is a vote for sanity, affordability, deliciousness, and the American way. Vote Columbo's, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's, Manja.
We got some of the hottest news, saving it for last year, the PM Show Monday edition. Michael Horn, Paul Stern. So Kendra Wilkinson and Holly Madison, they were on the Girls Next Door on E, and Holly has called out Kendra for being fake in her memoir, Down the Rabbit Hole. Not only was, she said, Madison harsh on Kendra, but she had a few things to say about Hefner as well, Hugh Hefner. Needless to say, this didn't sit well with Kendra. She's still talking about it months later, and in a new interview with on the Kyle and Jackie O show, Kendra has said that Holly's allegations are unbelievable, and at the end of the day, she made a lot of things about me up in her book. She said, I didn't want to be friends with her, which was true because we were never friends from the start. The worst thing is having to fake friends for fame for this industry, and I hate that feeling. I'm not a fake person. I love real friends. I love real family. I love real. So the worst thing is just being forced to be friends with somebody because of TV. Well, you got money and got paid for the show, am I right? Right?
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Both of them, you know?
Not exactly similar.
That's
right. But kind of similar. I was watching Don Lemon, I think, on last Friday night, that he had a panel discussion going, and Bob Beckel, I don't know what was got under Bob Beckel's bonnet, but he kept making reference to, we're going to take another commercial break. So finally, Don Lemon, the host on CNN, said that, if you want to get paid, we got to take these breaks.
There you go, Beckles. Beckles is, he's been moving around the networks a little bit. I hope he's okay. I don't think he was at the mansion. And anyway, just to wrap this things up here with Kendra Wilkinson, and she didn't approve how Holly talked about her relationship with Hefner. She said she get the feeling she wanted to have babies, get married, and love him. Trust me, it was like that in real life. All of a sudden, years later, I really didn't want to be there. It's like, what? Who are you trying to fool? So there you have. That's the latest on there, I guess, in that interview. There's some other things out there. Listen to this. They're trying to bring back, they've done reboots and brought all these series back. I'm waiting for them to bring back Hunter. The latest is going to be the 80s classic MacGyver to get the remake treatment. It's originally ran on ABC from 1985 to 1992 with Richard Dean Anderson as a star, but it looks like CBS has already found the lead for their new project in the form of Lucas Till. You might recall him from his role as Havoc in the X-Men franchise. So that's interesting. There was some scuffs, too, at the scuffles for Paul Hui, the season 9 winner of Top Chef. On Saturday, Paul was arrested for domestic violence against his girlfriend. They were going on for a year. He went into a violent rage when he left his girlfriend with noticeable injuries. Apparently what went down is Wee's partner claims that she woke up to the reality star partying with a group of friends. The woman told authorities that Paul had indulged in cocaine, Xanax, alcohol, and marijuana all night.
On Top Chef?
No, this is at their house.
Oh.
Unfortunately, the girlfriend and her son were woken up by the party. Reluctantly, she agreed to join the group. That's a mistake. Wow. Then after a few drinks, Paul reportedly accused his lady love and friends of wanting to engage in group sex. Paul got so mad about the alleged flirting and, quoting now, became enraged and started knocking over furniture. And then the girlfriend tried to leave the house. Now did Paul allegedly push his girlfriend away from the floor, but he slammed her against the walls and the doors. An arriving officer noticed the victim had cuts and bruises on her forearms. So, wow.
Wow.
I'll probably blame Donald Trump for that. Justin Timberlake in the news. He is getting back to his roots, going back in the recording studio with some A-list friends. He took some pictures on Instagram with Pharrell Williams. He was there. Also members of the country band Little Big Town. This should be good. I'd like to hear Justin Timberlake do some country. Huh?
Any mention of Janet Jackson?
No. Don't know about that. You'll never believe, by the way, Amy Schumer proved that she is giving as she is funny, because the Trainwreck star dropped $1,000 tip on her $77 bar bill when she was enjoying it out at the theater to see Broadway's new musical Hamilton. That's good.
I'll take that.
And it's been 10 years since Olivia John's ex-boyfriend Patrick McDermott disappeared, and they're still talking about this as well. That's our show. Check out the website at CRN Talk. For Tomas, our producer Courtney Cadera, for Paul, I'm Michael Horn. Have a great night.
Which was most appropriate because that was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio show sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Robert Conrad Show, The What's Cooking Show, and The What's Cooking on Wine Show, all in true CRN HD audio. Sports, business,